Black CEO denied service in his car dealership. The manager gets fired on the spot. Before we dive into this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. Julian. Carter walked into the luxury car dealership in a crisp blue polo and sneakers, looking nothing like the billionaire CEO he was. He wasn't expecting a red carpet, but he didn't expect to be ignored either. The moment he stepped inside, the sales manager glanced his way, then whispered to a colleague with a smirk. Moments later, Julian was told, "We have nothing in your budget. Maybe try used cars down the street." What they didn't know, Julian owned the entire dealership, and within minutes, the manager's world would crumble right in front of stunned customers and staff. Julian Carter had built his auto empire from scratch. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood in Atlanta, he had always dreamed of owning luxury vehicles. Years later, he didn't just own one, he owned dozens. As CEO of Carter Automotive Group, his portfolio included some of the most profitable luxury dealerships in the country, but Julian believed in staying grounded. Occasionally, he would drop by his dealerships unannounced, dressed casually to observe the customer experience. Today was one of those days. The location was new, a high-end showroom in Houston. It had only been open a few months, and Julian wanted to see how the staff handled walk-in clients. With no security or assistance, he entered quietly, curious, and hopeful. Instead, he was met with immediate judgment. Julian wandered around the gleaming showroom, admiring the latest electric luxury SUV. Despite making eye contact with two employees, no one approached him. He moved closer to the front desk. Peter Lawrence, a sharply dressed sales manager, eyed him before walking over. Julian smiled and extended his hand. "Beautiful models you have here." Peter didn't shake his hand. "You here to browse, or do you actually plan on buying?" Julian was taken aback, but remained calm. "Just wanted to ask about that 2025 Orion," Peter scoffed. "That's a $190,000 vehicle. We don't usually let people just touch it for fun." Julian blinked. "Excuse me?" Peter, growing bolder, leaned in. "Look, I don't mean to be rude, but we've had some problems lately. If you're not serious, I'll have to ask you to leave." A few heads turned. Other customers were starting to notice. Julian gave him one last chance. "So, you're saying I can't be helped here?" "Not unless you have proof you can actually afford anything." Julian pulled out his phone and dialed a number. "This is Julian Carter. Get the regional director here now, and tell security to hold the sales manager. He's about to be unemployed." Peter's smug face melted into confusion, then horror. Within 10 minutes, a black SUV pulled up to the dealership. Out stepped Maria Velasquez, the regional director, followed by security. Peter stood frozen, trying to piece together what was happening. Maria walked straight to Julian and shook his hand. "Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry. I came as fast as I could." Julian nodded toward Peter. "This is the level of respect walk-in customers are getting?" Maria turned cold. "Absolutely not." She turned to Peter. "You're done. Pack up your things. Security will escort you out. Right now." Peter stammered. "But I didn't know." "That's the problem," Julian said quietly. "You judge me on skin, not substance." The dealership floor was silent. Staff watched in stunned silence as Peter was escorted out. Julian turned to the team. "Let this be a lesson. Every single person who walks through those doors deserves respect, regardless of how they're dressed, the color of their skin, or what you think they can afford." A few staff members clapped. Julian met with the remaining team, laid out new customer-first expectations, and introduced secret shopper evaluations moving forward. That day, the dealership didn't just lose a manager, it gained accountability. Julian's experience reminded everyone watching that bias and discrimination still exist in quiet corners of everyday business. But one moment of truth, one phone call, can expose everything. Authentic leadership doesn't demand respect. It shows the world how it's done, because power isn't loud. It's decisive. If you enjoyed this story and found it thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in this situation? Your support helps bring more eye-opening stories to life.